I am joined by Robert Griffin III, James White, Field Yates Meanakeims.
All right, so first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
Before we do the intro, Joey Chestnut is right next to me.
Get Joey Chestnut on the pregame show. Oh my God.
Hi, Mr. Chestnut. He's getting on an elevator. That was freaking
awesome.
Sick. That was freaking sick.
What a start. What's going on, everyone? Welcome in to Patriots pregame here on Patriots Daily, CLNS Media. Mike Kadlick here. Tayler Kyles in Cincinnati, where he just ran into hot dog legend Joey Chestnut. We're going to bring you a probably half-hour pregame show, set the stage for what's going to happen in Cincinnati Week 1. Patriots kicking off their regular season today. We're going to get to inactives. We're going to give you a new Prize Picks play that we have because there are inactives on Cincinnati's front that we'll get to. But first and foremost, Tayler, set the scene. You're in Cincinnati. Your first time in Cincinnati, I believe. What's the place like? Good vibes for a football game. What's the feel around the arena? What'd you do last night? How is Cincinnati going out there for you?
Cincinnati's a ton of fun, man. The vibes are excellent. People are really nice. They're helpful because Ahmed and I have been walking around not really knowing what's good, and people are helping us figure out where we're going. Food is bomb. Haven't gotten to have Skyline chili yet. I think we're getting that at halftime. But nice. For breakfast, they actually gave us like the Skyline breakfast that people keep talking about. It's like, I think it's egg-based and spicy sausage, way spicier than I expected for, being in Ohio. So that was really good. But the vibes, honestly, it's a beautiful day. Stadium's packed. A lot of Bengals fans, a lot of Patriots fans. You check my Twitter, I saw an old Mac Jones jersey that was repurposed into a Drake May jersey. But clearly, it's a lot of Bengals fans, not a ton of Patriots fans. It's kind of, to be expected. But these fans are hyped up. The vibe and the energy around the stadium is awesome. Last night, we got the pepperoni hot honey pizza at Taglio. That was per Michael Jordan's recommendation. I was like, hey, man, you got to give me some food spots because obviously he's from Ohio. He got drafted to the Bengals. Pizza was fire. If you want to see it, again, check out my Twitter account. I've been trying to post pictures of what's going on. There's murals all over these buildings. It's a really beautiful city. So I've been having a blast, but nothing like week 1 of the NFL, baby. I'm excited to finally kick off and have some football to talk about.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I wish I was there. It stinks that I'm at my home office with my Patriots stuff behind you instead of sitting there in Cincy, but we'll get there someday. Like you said, next year they play there as well, so should be fun. I'm excited. I mean, again, it's week 1. There's a ton of stuff happening in the NFL today. Dak Prescott gets his extension. Tyreek Hill gets arrested. Caleb Williams, number 1 overall pick, makes his debut. Tom Brady, the GOAT, making his broadcasting debut at 4:25 this afternoon. So there's a ton going on.
Justin Fields starting also. I did not expect that. I thought that Russell Wilson was named the starter. So
yeah. Russ was named starter, but I guess he's dealing with a hamstring injury. So he went through some pregame stuff, is inactive. It's Justin Fields. So a fun day across the NFL. We're going to have you covered on CLNS through all of it, not just Patriots. We have a ton of Prize Picks plays from all of our podcasters as well. So make sure you check all of those out. But before we do Prize Picks, I actually want to start this one off with Game Time and get this done early because it's 12:08. And if you go to Game Time right now, you can get into Patriots versus Bengals for, I believe, let me double check, as little as $118. So not a bad gig over there at Game Time. If you're in the area, Patriots, you mentioned Patriots fans are there. Maybe they're out there trying to find tickets. Head over to Game Time today. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff, shows you only the incredible deals on the great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through those thousands of tickets. Super deals, great deals, amazing deals. They're all there in the Game Time app. And again, don't waste any time. If you made the trip to Cincy but weren't able to get your tickets, go to Game Time right now and check it out today. Concerts as well. Taylor went to a concert through Game Time. It's the best ticketing app. There's all the other ones. Not going to talk about all the competitors, but Game Time right now is number 1. And right now, you can take the guesswork out of buying any tickets over at Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and as you see on screen, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create your account, redeem code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, let's do inactives, Taylor, because we'll start with man. You know what? Let's save the Patriots for last. We'll start with the Bengals because Adam Schefter reports this morning that Ja'Marr Chase and the Bengals don't get their extension, their deal done. So Ja'Marr Chase continues to play on his rookie contract, yet he does decide to play and is active. Now, it sounds like he might have a little bit of a snap count thing going on, may try to get back into it because he hasn't been a participant. But other wide receiver news, T. Higgins is inactive with that hamstring injury, as well as wide receiver Kendrick Pryor. So Jermaine Burton, rookie out of Alabama, making his debut. Looks like Andre Yasovis is going to be that wide receiver 2. Did I say it right?
I think you did. That was smooth as hell.
Not bad. I've been practicing. We've had a lot of Bengals news and days to kind of figure that one out because it's been the wide receiver room. But Kendrick Pryor is inactive, and Jermaine Burton gets in there. So I'll read the rest actually while we're here. Cedric Johnson also inactive for the Bengals. Amarius Mims, the rookie tackle. Tanner McLaughlin, the tight end of one of 5. I believe they kept 5 tight ends on their active roster. 4 are active today. In Eric All, Mike Gesicki. Oh man, I can get the other ones, but I'm not going to do it right now. And then Chris Jenkins,
yeah.
the defensive lineman, is inactive as well. So quick thoughts on the Bengals and guys who aren't playing. Big one, obviously being wide receiver T. Higgins.
Yeah, I think with Ja'Marr Chase, obviously, he's going to be limited because even though it sounds like he's been working, and Joe Goodberry told us he's been working with Joe Burrow behind the scenes. You know, I'm sure they're not going to miss a beat. But when you don't practice, Ja'Marr Chase hasn't gotten hit. So he's not going to be able to just go out there and be 100% because what happens a lot of the time is when guys hold out, then they go play, they end up dealing with soft tissue injuries because your body's just not ready for that contact quite yet. So I think that's obviously going to be huge. Probably only going to see him on critical situations like third downs, red zone, 2-minute drives, things like that. T. Higgins, massive blow because he was the guy that you were hoping would be there for all of the snaps. And now you're pretty much just saddled with, as the Bengals, a bunch of guys who are really more complementary pieces than anything else. Like, we know Mike Gesicki. We love Mike Gesicki, but, he's not really keeping defensive coordinators up at night exactly. And the run game for the Bengals has never been really great. I think Zach Moss is a really good player, but the offensive line for the Bengals isn't great either. And we know the Patriots have an elite run defense. So I think now this game maybe hasn't shifted into the Patriots' favor. Of course, the Bengals have a very experienced and talented defense. You still got Joe Burrow at quarterback for Cincy, but I like the Patriots a lot more. And I already thought they could potentially upset this Bengals team. So it's going to be interesting to see how they really move the ball, Cincy, because when the Patriots play zone, I think that Joe Burrow is going to be able to pick them apart. But, I think that DeMarcus Covington wants to play an aggressive brand of football, which could mean a lot of man coverage. So it's going to test these guys. Can you beat Christian Gonzalez, Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones? Maybe we'll see some Alex Austin mixing in some Marco Wilson. So it's going to be tougher, I think, the Bengals to move the ball because this is still a very good Patriots defense.
Quite the shift for the Bengals wide receiver room this week because early on it looked like T. Higgins mentioned healthy as ever. He told reporters this week Ja'Marr Chase looked like he might not play because of the contract. And then all of a sudden Higgins gets banged up on Thursday. He's not going to play. And I wonder if that dictated Chase's decision at all to say, you know what, I'm going to play, thinking, I'm going to hold out. Higgins is there. We're going to be fine. We're going to get this across the finish line. And then all of a sudden the tie situation switches and Chase is like, look, I got to help my team now, and I'm going to go out there and play. So those two kind of flip-flopped, which is why that's kind of the X factor here, obviously. And the Bengals wide receiver room was always going to be the X factor in this game. But now they kind of have to shift their game plan a little bit because instead of going with, okay, we haven't had Chase all year, we can deal. Higgins has been here. It's the flip side where Chase hasn't been on the field with them really. And I know he has the rapport with Joe Burrow and all that, but it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Ja'Marr Chase, again, not playing, or excuse me, T. Higgins not playing with a hamstring injury. Ja'Marr Chase is playing despite not getting his contract across the finish line. So we'll see what happens there. Let's head over to the Patriots inactives. Obviously the big one, Sidy Sow, dealing with that ankle injury that he suffered in the preseason finale against Washington. He is out. Joe Milton, the third rookie quarterback, is also out. He is dictated as the emergency third-string quarterback. The 4 guys they picked up on waivers the following day after roster cuts, Curtis Jacobs, Zach Thomas, DeMontre Jacobs, and Eric Johnson, all inactive as well. And another big story, Javon Baker, wide receiver, 4th-round pick, inactive today. We were texting a little bit about that before the game before inactives came out, where it kind of looked like he wasn't going to play. Look, Baker dealing with the issue this week. Gerard Mayo apologizes for his spat with the police officers at Logan Airport. Then he's asked by Dakota Randall of Pro Football Network, if he regrets anything, and he basically says no. Probably not, again, the best thing to say if you're in Javon Baker's position. And, it's like, is he inactive and is he a healthy scratch because of the stuff off the field? Or is it more of an on-field thing? And my thought was, look, he's not helping himself on the field, and he didn't help himself on the field throughout the last, couple weeks of training camp and those last couple preseason games. But the off-field stuff is also something that's not going to help him when determining, hey, should we play Kayshon Boutte? Should we play Jalen Reagor? Should we play Javon Baker? And so that's kind of my view on it. I don't think he's helping himself, but I don't think he's necessarily inactive as a punishment for what happened this past week at the airport. So thoughts on Baker and thoughts on City So as well, and how they're going to kind of switch up and figure out the offensive line group this week.
Yeah, so starting with Javon Baker, it's disappointing, obviously. One, I think the bottom line is his play on the field. At least, going back to the summer, we saw he really kind of fell off and wasn't producing with any level of consistency. We don't know, obviously, what's happening in practices now, but it feels like maybe there's a continuation of that. And Kayshon Boutte is somebody that they trust more, obviously, second year with the team, than Javon Baker. And Gerard Mayo did say that although the situation with the police was not handled well, it would not affect Javon Baker's status. It wasn't like he was going to get disciplined and miss a game because of that.
Right.
So we do know it's because of on-field performance, even if, maybe other factors play some kind of role in that as well. Now, with City So being inactive and also Vidarian Lowe being active, that's going to be huge. We have seen in practice that it's really been Chuks Okorafor and Michael Jordan with some Nick Leverett and extended guard. Now you're thinking, okay, are we going to see some crazier switches where like Chuks is on the right side and then you get Mike and Nwenu at guard? Right. Like, how exactly is that going to work? But with this outside zone scheme, chemistry is so important. I think that if anything, we'll see more of a rotation on the left side with Vidarian Lowe and Chuks, then maybe a little bit of Michael Jordan and then Nick Leverett. Nick Leverett also was working a lot at center. Yeah. It was notable because obviously you expect David Andrews to play the entire game, but maybe they take a little easy on the veteran. We see him rotate in and out, which wouldn't be ideal because Nick Leverett did have a bit of a snapping issue this preseason. But yeah, that left side of the offensive line, we're going to have to keep a very close eye on it because there's a lot of different ways the Patriots can handle the situation, wanting to keep guys healthy, make sure that because it's week one, nobody's getting overexhausted or anything. But I would expect still for Chuks Okorafor to be the starter. Beside him, probably Michael Jordan and or Nick Leverett. And then maybe Vidarian Lowe mixes in because obviously he's active. So if he's healthy enough, I think they want him to play.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't think they're going to start him right away. I know he spoke with Mike Giardi this week and kind of, according to Giardi anyway, he didn't seem too optimistic about his status for this week. Now, it feels like a depth play and that they're going to have him and they're going to keep him active just in case, but they're going to try Okorafor to start and go from there. And the other thing you mentioned too with Michael Jordan, he was elevated yesterday from the practice squad. It looks like they're, at least from what we saw, those first 10, 15 minutes of practice that we get every week now that we don't get to watch the entire session, it looked like they were working on having him be that left guard this week and start there so that they have some insurance at center. If David Andrews, if anything were to happen to him, they move Leverett to be the backup center instead of the starting guard and go from there. And then they just kind of hope, I think, that, with Lowe starting to get better, they can shuffle more guys around. City So comes back. And then that's kind of how you work it. And I don't think they want to start Nick Leverett if they don't have to because they worry about their center. They're centered up there. So I'm going to keep an eye too here, Taylor, on the live tweets from the stadium to find out exactly what we see pregame with an offensive line combination. I know that, Lazar and the guys out there will usually tweet that out. So I'll keep an eye on that in case we can get, hey, you're muted. It's all good.
Sorry, trying to shuffle and see. So Evan actually did tweet that the starting offensive line is from left to right, Chuks Okorafor, Michael Jordan, David Andrews, then right guards, Layden Robinson, and Mike Nwenu at right tackle. So yeah, it's probably going to be what we've been seeing in practice.
Yep. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Well, that sounds like it makes sense. I am trying to do three things at once here. But the other thing I did want to mention is that people getting mad about the captain's patches on the Patriots jerseys, they look awesome. I saw your tweet from pregame. I just quote tweeted as well. If you check it out on Taylor's or my Twitter, Maybe it's because it's David Andrews and he has the gold C as well, but I think it looks badass. Like that looks legit. I know some people were saying that they didn't like it because it's never been a Patriots thing, but I think it looks really good. So, all right, we're going to hear a quick word from our friends over at Prize Picks. Then we're going to wrap this thing up with our game predictions after that. And the reason we always got to talk about Prize Picks. However, the reason that I want to bring it up here and I waited until after the inactives report is because we have a new Prize Picks play today for the Patriots game. Earlier in the week when we talked about it on our show, I wanted to have T. Higgins' over receiving or more receiving yards. However, Higgins isn't active today, so we are switching the play up on my end. We're going to tweet out an entire promo video of it. But long story short, the explanation there, the play is Chase Brown's more than 12.5 receiving yards. I think Joe Burrow is going to have to get guys acclimated outside of just Jamar Chase, and it's going to be one of those guys is going to be their scat back, number 2 back behind Zach Moss, and that's Chase Brown. So go with more than 14.5 for him. I'm sticking on Pop Douglas, more than 38.5 receiving yards. I think they're going to run the offense through him with Alex Van Pelt and Jacoby Brissett. And then the final one is Andre Yasovis. I'm taking his less than 44.5 receiving yards. Jamar Chase now active. I don't know how much rapport those two have between Burrow and Yasovis, so I like his less. Again, I will tweet out the entire promo once we finish up there. But that's what we're going with our new Prize Picks thing. I know we're going to have some more stuff as well throughout the entire NFL Sunday. Caleb Williams, more his passing yard block that has just one passing yard. You can use that and add that to your winning lineup. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active users. Make sure you go download that Prize Picks apps today. Use code CLNS for $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to get that $50 bonus. Prize Picks, run your game. Again, I'm going to tweet out my new Prize Picks play for the Patriots game today. But with all the moving parts, we had to edit it. So we're going to go with Chase Brown, more than 14.5 receiving yards. We're going Pop Douglas, more than 38 receiving yards. And I'm going Andre Yasovis, less than 44.5 receiving yards. So that's Prize Picks. Again, download it. Help us out. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, Taylor, let's wrap this thing up. Again, quick hitter, 20-minute thing here. We're going to do this probably every Sunday, every game day. We'll react to inactives. We'll set the scene, and we'll give our predictions. I know we did it earlier in the week, but now that there's some moving parts, T. Higgins out, Jamar Chase in, overview of the game, how you think it's going to play out, and ultimately who wins this one out in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think this is going to go to the Patriots. I predicted that they would get the upset on the road, and I think that with Jamar Chase being limited, with no T. Higgins, I feel like the chances just went up, like I mentioned earlier. Now, I think this is probably going to be the kind of game where neither team gets to 25. I think it's going to be a one-possession game by the end of it. Hopefully, it plays out similarly, somewhat to what we saw from the Patriots constantly last year, where the defense gets the stuff they need to at the end of the game. But hopefully now with Jacoby Brissett, who's been really good in 2-minute drives throughout the entire summer, hopefully he can get them across and, put them in scoring position. They close this one out and start off with a dub this week.
Love it. Okay, Taylor's going with a win for the Patriots in Cincinnati. Looking through the chat here, that guys are asking if Jamar Chase is playing limited. He is going to play. He is at least active, and they're going to work through that there. And look, Taylor, while I agree with all of your analysis on this game, I think it's sort of all worked in the Patriots' favor this week with the drama in Cincinnati, with the wide receivers being in, then out, with the fact that Cincy always starts slow, with Joe Burrow coming off an injury. However, ultimately the Bengals just, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion, have a top to bottom better roster than the Patriots. So look, players win games. And I think that ultimately
people are screaming "Houday" behind me. It's so
funny. Okay. I didn't know if there was something in the chat. I see you laughing. I had to make sure that I didn't miss anything good. But so yeah, Taylor's taking the Bengals. And while I think that the Patriots do keep it close, I know that there's different spreads out there and odds that the Patriots are the biggest underdog in the NFL this week. They probably should be, considering their opponent and all that stuff. But I think they're going to keep it close. I think they're going to cover that 9, 7, 8, 9 spread wherever you can find it. But ultimately, my prediction is Bengals 21, Patriots 13. Tight game, one possession. But unfortunately, the Patriots don't get it done. We'll see what happens. I think they have a chance. I think we talked about it on our Thursday show where there is a path to victory here, and it wouldn't shock me necessarily if they win the game. But I can't pick against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. I just can't do it. So that's my thought. So Taylor's taking Pats. I'm taking Bengals. We'll be back post game here on Patriots Press Pass. It'll be myself and John Zannis to start, and then Taylor, once things start to wrap up in Cincinnati a little bit, he'll hop on the show as well, give his thoughts on the game. So make sure you keep it here on Patriots Press Pass. Like the video, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications so you know when we go live after the game to react to this one. Again, Patriots starting the NFL season in Cincinnati this week. Week 1 kicks off in just over a half hour. You can follow along with our coverage, CLNSmedia.com, at Kyles39 on Twitter, at Mike Kadlick on Twitter, at Patriots CLNS on Twitter. We'll be there covering the entire thing. So until our wrap-up show post-game, thanks for watching. Go Pats. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching and peace out.